So today we're going to be working on swapping out my normal case that I've been using on my personal rig for about 2 years, I would say. And the case I've been using for that has actually been the Be Quiet, excuse me, not the Be Quiet, the Fractal Design Mesh 5C. I've been using that case for about 2 years, and that case has been phenomenal. I mean, it's small, it's compact, which I like for a mid-tower ATX, but one of the problems is that it's small and compact. So I decided to go with this NZXT H510 Elite Premium Compact Mid-Tower ATX, just reading that's up there. And I went with the black version. I know they have the white version, which is actually really cool, but for the aesthetic that I'm looking for, I decided to go with the black. So I think that'll look nicer. Three reasons why I'm swapping out cases. Number one, our main computer is actually put in our living room, and I just want a different look. I just want something that's gonna fit the aesthetic of our living room and all that stuff. The Fractal has that concave front with all that mesh, and it's all right, but it looks kind of tacky sometimes, especially with the way we're trying to decorate our living room. That's number one. Number two, I need more room. I actually upgraded the CPU cooler on my Fractal Mesh 5C to the Be Quiet Dark Rock 4. That was a pain in the butt to put in there, so if you're not subscribed, and either that video will be out or it will be out, and check out the review and actually of how the Be Quiet Dark Rock 4 actually looks inside the Mesh 5C and all that stuff, and some of my opinions about that. And number three, I'm actually going to be doing a lot of reviews on fans and some custom water cooling stuff, so stay tuned for that because I actually got some cool stuff coming up for that. And I need a case to actually showcase the fans that I've bought and a few other things that I'm going to be doing in projects. So those are the three reasons why I decided to do it. Get this stuff out of here and let's go ahead and do an unboxing. So let me get this out. I know I don't have a ton of room to work over here, but I think we should be able to get this thing out on my bench. Now, when I ordered this, the cool thing I will say is whoever was selling it, I got it from Amazon. They actually shipped it in another box. So it was a box in a box, which doesn't seem like much, but it actually provided an extra layer of protection, which was actually pretty cool and something I liked because at least I wasn't dancing around, had extra protection, especially with the glass up front, all that stuff. So whatever Amazon seller shipped this to me, I was actually really impressed on how they did that. So that's pretty cool. Of course, your styrofoam. And let's get this thing out over here. This case is a little bit heavier than my Fractal Mesh 5C, but not too much. Get the plastic off. Now what I like to do is I like to actually keep these plastics and sometimes keep the case. If I ever decide to sell this case or just put it in storage, I can actually sell the whole computer and it looks a lot more professional. So, all right, here we are. Here's the case, glass panel, the front. So, typical case. With this case, NZXT, this model, they decided to actually put the front tempered glass in the front as well. There are also concerns and reviews about airflow for it, which I can see because there's no way to really get much airflow through there. On the side, as you can see, you have the vent holes over here, which can suck in air. Don't know how efficient that's going to be, but you know, we'll see. I've never had a heat issue per se, but hopefully we don't have to find out about that. So the NZXT Hub is right over here. It's positioned in there. One thing I do like about this, it actually comes with a splitter, which, where it is. You got your splitter, so it hooks up the two front fans up into the fan 1 port. And then these two fans, which are only the 3 pins over here, which is the 140 over here, the 120, they go right into there. So with these two fans that I have, the AER RGB2 fans, I'll plug them into the 4 pins, I have complete control. And it has the inputs for the LEDs, for the RGB LEDs, one over here, which I don't understand why they actually didn't plug it in. I mean, that don't make sense to me, but whatever. I mean, they plugged these in, they didn't plug that in, but it's fine. I'm gonna have to do my own cable management for it. Has your trays over here, which are plastic, which I guess is okay. So you can only put 2 SSDs up here. Got your cables tucked in on the bottom. And got your little box that comes with your hardware. You can get that open. Let's see what that comes with. Wire ties, speaker splitter, and pin connectors. So let's take a look at this real quick. Now, I don't know if I get this in the shop, I'm gonna have to bring this in. But as you can see right over here, you only have one hole for the audio and mic input. So a NZXT does. So I give it the splitter, which, okay, I mean, it's fine. I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, I don't really use a headset. I actually have a wireless headset, so this ain't really much of a big deal for me. But the one thing I don't like about it is that when you build these computers, you have a theme that you're going with, a theme color, and I got red and black. Why couldn't they do all black and just label it over here, or just, I don't know. But now we have red, so if I was actually doing my theme, whatever. Plugs right over here, and you have your splitter, which actually, putting that in is pretty tight. It's got a very tight fit. I guess that's good. Whatever. Tons of wire ties, which is good. I mean, I like to use them to keep them together. And also has this little pin thing over here, which I haven't really seen in a case before, but we'll take a look at that. Okay, the pin header. So if you take a look over here, hard drive, power switch, and the power LED. These are the most common ones that you're going to use. This doesn't have a reset button, which is fine because I don't think I've ever used a reset button. So I guess you plug it into their little header that they have over here, which is probably in this mesh of wires, which will open it up in just a sec. So let's go ahead and do that. Pop this thing open. Yeah, front panel. So this goes in right over here, which, yep, goes into the front panel right over here. And then these individual connectors I could put into the motherboard. So I guess that's convenient. I don't know. I don't know any advantages of it. Has the USB Type-C, so I can plug into my motherboard. I know my Fractal case does not have that, so this is actually a cool upgrade that I'm welcoming very much. USB 3.1, and the headers for your HD audio, and okay, yeah, for the HD audio. So now for the NZXT, if I get that in there, hopefully the shots come out good. The NZXT hub over here, you're actually going to need a USB 2.0 port open, which is fine because I have mine open. Plug that in there. If not, I know NZXT does sell like a hub that you can plug it in and give you more for that. So you got that one there, and yeah, that's pretty much what you have. Like I talked about, we have the fan splitter over here because it does come with two 140s in the front. So it can split up to here, and then you have the two connectors for the hub. So that'll pop up here real nice. So pretty cool. Definitely happy with that. So yeah, so that's what it has. That's what it comes with. The drive cage on the bottom, I don't know if we get that in the shot right over here. You can put two hard drives down over here, 3.5. And you can also put another 3.5 right up over here. So you can put three 3.5-inch hard drive, which is fine because I actually use one and one. I might put one on the bottom, put one on the top just to put that space in there because I don't plan on using three. We're going to put this on the side real quick. As you can see, you have a mesh right over here. Not sure how this comes out, which I just popped it out. There you go. Got your mesh. You can clean that when you're doing your maintenance on your computer. Dust is the enemy, so make sure. And then you got this for the power supply over here. This is how you disconnect your drive cage over here, and it's adjustable. So if you have bigger and longer power supplies, you can actually slide it up low front, and that should actually give you no issue. So that's that one. Now we're going to do over here is come up over here. One thing I do like about the bottom is it does have the provisions to run your power cables for your video card right through over here, and there's plenty of room down over here. So when you're running the HD audio and the USB 2.0, you can actually put them in here, put it nice and clean. I do kind of miss the rubber grommets that most cases have, but some manufacturers do it, some don't. I haven't quite understood that. Also has this bar over here, which actually hides your cables, that tucks it in, gives it a nice clean look, from what I understand. I don't think I see anything else over here that, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's pretty much what we have. Now another thing, if we get this thing out, hopefully they're not too tight. Okay, we're not too tight. Well, maybe we are too tight. I don't know why they tightened that so much, but it's okay. Got these captive screws over here. Let's take this apart. And this actually pops right out. And we could change the fans, or we could put in an AIO cooler 140 millimeter, which I thought about going with the NZXT AIO, but I'm not a huge fan of water cooling, and AIOs. I mean, I actually had a bad experience a couple of years ago. I'll actually say 5-6 years ago. I had an AIO. I don't remember what brand it was. I just knew that I just threw it out right away. But one day I woke up, computer wasn't turning on. It was giving me issues. And actually the tubing that came from the CPU over there leaked, got on top of my graphics card. Long story short, my graphics card was fried because of that. So after that, I kind of stayed away from it. And the AIO was only a year old. I think it was one of the Corsair's earlier models. This was like 5 or 6 years ago. Might have been a Corsair, might have been something else. But ever since then, I said, no, I'm not chancing it or anything like that. So yeah, we stay away from that. Up here, I don't know if that gets in the shot right there, but up there they actually have their lighting, their RGB strip lighting node up there. So very excited about this, to do this build and put this in here. I think it's a pretty cool case, and I think the look is going to go exactly what I'm going for. It does have the provisions for the vertical GPU mount. I have the, Asus Strix 2080. Love that video card, I've never had an issue with it. But to put it vertical, it's going to be sitting real close against the glass. It's going to starve it of airflow, so I'm just going to keep it exactly where it's at. Now, if I was doing custom water cooling in this case, I would definitely put it over here, because then the, getting in fresh airflow would definitely not be an issue there. So something to keep note of. And also, even though it has the provisions of it, you still got to get the bracket and the mount. I'm not sure if NZXT sells one or if you have to get an aftermarket one, not 100% sure. Maybe somebody can let me know in the bottom about that. I'll do some research on that. So yeah, this is the case that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be doing my build in it, using my 8700K. I know my 8700K is a little dated compared to the new stuff that's coming out, but I have a clock to 5 gigahertz. Never had an issue with it. It still performs great with all my games and photo editing, so I'm not there to the point where I'm noticing any bottlenecking from anything. So we're going to keep that, and we're going to keep using that. What we're going to do is, I'm not going to do this whole time-lapse video montage build of me building a computer. If you've seen many of my videos, you've seen usually how that goes. It's the same thing. There's a million videos of people building in here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to skip right through the montage and everything. I'm going to go right into how the computer is going to look with the build, with everything inside of it. Talk about some of the things during the build that I didn't like, and yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. If you want to see a video on how a computer is built or put in there, look at some of my older videos, or just find somebody else who does it 20 times better than me, which I'm pretty sure that's everybody in the world. So, all right, so we're going to do that real quick. So what we're going to do is, with the magic of video editing, I'm going to go ahead and have my computer in here in 3, 2, 1. Well, that didn't work. Okay. We're just going to go show the next footage. So real quick, I just want to talk about one thing before we go into the full review and everything I think about this case and all the issues or anything I had or didn't like about it. One thing I talked about earlier was that I was concerned about the needing to get another hub, NZXT cam hub, because I could only fit a certain amount of cables or PWM and LED strips in it. Something I didn't know, and this is something that for people who buy this, the NZXT fans, you can daisy chain them together. And they have they have connectors that go in and out. They only go one way. And according to NZXT, you can actually daisy chain up to 5 of these on this. So I have all 4 of these daisy chained together, and actually I have it all plugged into the hub. I plug the 2 fans together. Now, let me rewind that. As far as daisy chaining it together, I'm talking about the RGB. You can daisy chain the RGB connectors all together and then plug it into the hub. And then I have the strip up here on top, which I don't know if I can get in there. Yeah, there's a strip up there on top that also gets chained into there. So any RGB for NZXT fans, they can be daisy chained together. It's real easy. It's not that hard. Just gotta deal with a little extra cable management. So just want to mention that real quick, and now we'll segue into the rest of this review. So just finished the build, just finished putting it together. And of course, to celebrate any new RGB installation, RGB puke. Just got all the colors of the rainbows going back and forth. So yeah. I'm gonna talk about real quick some of the things I liked about this build, some of the things I didn't like about it. Well, not the build, just more the case in general. What I do enjoy about this case compared to the Mesh 5C is that there was a lot more room for activities and stuff. Yeah. There was a lot more room to get my Be Quiet cooler in there. As you can see, I got it in there. I didn't even need to run the front because the front fan over here didn't really make much of a difference. Just got the middle one working. So, but like I said, there's another video for that. I do like this cable bar over here. This cable bar just, really hides and kind of cleans up the cables over here. I know if I had some wired sleeve cables, this would look 20 times better. What else did I like? I like the fact that this front radiator mount, front fan mount does come out, so it's easy to put the radiators in. The cables hide in real smooth in the back, so I do enjoy that. The front looks great. I mean, I just like the fact that you can actually see the memory RAM sticks just glowing back and forth. And I'm probably going to set this to a solid color scheme. And I'm actually going to do a separate video on the CAM software, just my thoughts, my review, and just, improvements and comparison. So I'm going to do a video on that. The cable manager overall was not too bad working with it, and I don't know if I could get this in here. Let's see if I could kind of move this without dropping my computer, but as you can see, wasn't bad. I mean, the cable, the little management bar thing that they use is okay. I noticed with this Be Quiet, not Be Quiet, the EVGA power supply, the cable's a little thick, I guess, and just the wires just didn't want to bend properly. But through the channels, I was able to actually feed all the RGB cables and everything with no issues. Got plenty of room to tuck in all the excess wires on the bottom. The SSDs fit in great. So other than that, it wasn't too bad. I mean, real easy, a lot of access points and a lot of points to wire tie and really hold down all the cables and everything that you need to do. So very happy with that. Some of the things I didn't like about it. The one thing I didn't like, and I really don't have a way to show it, but just take my word for it. The hard drive caddy, it just mounts directly to the chassis. The one thing I didn't like about it, and when I started up this computer, mechanical hard drives, they kind of had a vibration going on because they, they spin. Only thing I did was I took some rubber, which I don't think I have any over here. I took a piece of rubber like this, I cut it, and I actually put it underneath and screwed it in, and I actually got rid of that vibration, that little annoying noise. So one thing I didn't like about that, so yeah. Other than that, this thing actually runs pretty cool. Literally pretty cool. I mean, the airflow is actually pretty decent. When you put your side panel on the sides, these vents, these ports over here, you actually feel the air getting sucked in. So that is actually pretty cool how that actually works and is efficient on that. The fan, the RGB fans, they're not incredibly bright. They're not. And then with the tinted window, it's not really going to gleam out as bright as some people may prefer. For me, because this is going in my living room and this is just an just kind of an aesthetic piece, it's perfect because it's not overpowering. So I do enjoy that feature of it. All right, so I've got my Cinebench running and got this thing overclocked to 5 gigahertz, which I've been able to run on it. I'm going to go ahead and run the test, and we're going to see how this thing goes and see how the temperatures run. As you can see, I got my 5 gigahertz all cores clocked. So let's go ahead and let's see where our temperatures are at. So right now we're at 78, 79. So the highest we hit is 81 degrees Celsius, 82. I actually think it runs actually pretty cool, considering A lot of people talk about because of the glass front and over here there's a restriction in airflow, but I wish I could do better, but there's actually, you can actually feel it sucking in air right over here, which is pretty effective, I would guess. So I would say that actually works like it's intended to. 84, test is running at 84. We're just about finished up here soon, pretty quickly. So yeah, so the tempered glass is actually very dark, and if you look at it, it's actually, I mean, it's hard to see the colors. If you're somebody that wants a color that's very flashy and all that good stuff, you're not going to get this with this fan setup. You might have to get something that's a little brighter, but to me, I think it's perfect because where it sits in my living room, so I'm definitely happy with that. And it'll actually, so you can see the comparison if you flick it at night. Yeah, as you can see, that's the kind of brightness that you're going to get at night. So, all right, so the test completed. And we're at 85 degrees Celsius, and this thing is contained. I have it on silent mode, so the fan's only ramped up as much as they need it. So I'm sure if I put it at full power or performance mode, these things would actually blow a little harder and cool off a lot more efficient. So just overall, good case, can't complain. So comment down below, let me know what you think. Give me your opinions, your reviews, your stories on this case. I mean, what you like, what you don't like about it. I mean, I recommend it. I think it's gonna be a great case for what we use. So overall, not too bad. So stay tuned, got some more builds coming. Thanks for watching.